Sorry about the delay, but we're here. Things happen, and we're still trying to catch up on a bunch of things. Anyways, episode 6. I'm very excited to see how we're going to develop the dynamic, I guess, between all of our characters a little bit more. With Stark now being in the fold, we have a dragon fight to attend and to witness, which should be really cool. I'm very excited to see how that goes. If it's going to be actually like a proper fight, or if something weird's going to happen and the dragon's going to back down when Stark gets close, and they're going to pull comedy route, or what they're going to do. But I am excited, and hopefully there's some lessons or some things learned through Stark, at least in the situation, and we can develop him a little bit, allow him to maybe get over his fears and get over some other stuff, and maybe face things regarding I can't remember Buddy's name, but the short dude, his master, right? And I'd be interested to see if we had some of those routes. If you like it all, like and subscribe to me. I'll to be feel free to stick around for the discussion. Leave any comments with this series. What's going on with episode 6? Simply love the show. Like there's nothing else for me to say about that. It's fantastic. Everything about it. I spent my time praising earlier episodes about things, but once again, this is like next level of how good everything is. The character interactions are just different. The way that these characters kind of are is just, I don't, everything about it. I can't properly describe the way that I want to, but it's so excellent. Everything about it is done so good. The way that they write these situations and the emotions and the feelings of all these characters, right? And their actions and the things that they do, the way that they write how they kind of resolve these things, or they use relatable experiences within each other, and they properly communicate these things, and they don't kind of make it big misunderstandings or kind of leave you, hanging on things, and do things for, I guess, furtherment of the story in a way, to leave you like wondering where things are heading, or like what's going to happen, right? They don't leave you on those cliffhangers. The moment when Stark talked about how he didn't have much time, instead of just skipping over that completely, or making like a bigger deal in a way that they had to out of it, or turning it into like a joke of a moment or something, he kind of skipped over, but then really just went into it, and he gave like a proper reason for why he said exactly what he just said, and made it sound that way, right? It's just so much that they do. The little things that they were doing earlier in the episode too, just the talking to Stark, giving him or allowing him to like kind of explain his situation or how he feels, and just even Fern like kind of rooting him on and stuff at the beginning. I found myself like really invested in it and feeling a little emotional at these certain moments, and they really weren't things I think that were meant to make you feel that, but something about them was like pulling at me and like making me feel it, and it was so well done. Just everything about it is so well done, and they put so much effort and love into this. It kind of feels like, I mean, I'm assuming the source and the story and all that has it too, but just the people working on this too, you can tell didn't want to make a product that was going to fail or disappoint the people who love the original, right? They wanted to showcase it even better and what they truly think can create something special, and that's what we have here, and it's truly wonderful. We split the episode here into two different halves, with the first half being kind of the journey of getting Stark, getting him his confidence in a way to be able to face this and fight, and then actually getting the whole dragon fight and everything that happens there. And then the second half being split off into something entirely else, us venturing out together, then going on like a little moment and having some fun moments with Fern and Stark together, and then also using that as ways to kind of explore a bunch of other things, and allow Stark to kind of tell his side of things a bit more, in his past and his history and whatever that is. And it's just so good the way they do it. I think they nailed the intro moment of these two talking to each other and talking about the idea of why Stark bothers to train, even though it's very clear that he's not that person who's actually going to go out of his way and fight this dragon. He's had all these years to do it, but instead he allows it to kind of sit, to the side and not actually do anything about it. And just feeling for why he feels this way, right? Understanding that he feels trapped almost. He was put into this situation, and he's viewed at and relied on by these other people, and he doesn't want to have to disappoint and doesn't want to have to let them down. But it's a psychological thing too, entirely for him. The reason why he's training here is not just so they can get strong and actually commit and do this fight. I don't buy that for a second. I think it's more so him trying to convince himself in a way that he's actually putting in that work, and he's convincing the others here, look at me, look at all the things that I'm doing, look how strong I am getting, and allowing them to continuously have that faith in him, and him to kind of make himself feel like it's okay, the things that he's doing or the way that they're feeling about him, even though he hasn't done anything and he just got kind of stuck here, and given this status by all of them, right? And put in this situation. I love the way that she asks him like if he actually is going to fight it, and he gives this big speech about like why he's the hero and why he's here, and then he's like, but I might not actually fight it when time comes, right? Which makes perfect sense, because once again, he doesn't know. He might say that he is, but when you face that and you get face to face with this thing again, are you gonna be able to? Maybe not. And I like the way that she kind of tries to recall her own experience, you know, the first time that she ever fought, and how that everything kind of went down there. And I really like the way that she explained how FRIEREN kind of taught her in a way. Instead of protecting her, saving her, or doing whatever, she really put her up to the test and forced her to push her limits and go as far as she can before she ultimately realized, like, do I want to die or not, right? And get left with those two choices before she realized, I have to turn around and I have to fight, and I am very capable of this, right? And then you gain a bunch of confidence within yourself from this moment, and her kind of letting him know, like, when you're faced and your back's against the wall here, what are you going to be capable of? And sometimes you are capable of a lot more than you really think that you are. And I think that that's a great way for them to kind of put us. And I just like how she comes back and she's like, I don't know if it worked. They do a really fun job too with this next moment of us being like, shit, he ran away. Like, it's pretty clear in that moment, you know, he didn't, but just seeing Ferd's reaction, be like, I am not fighting that dragon. And wrapping herself around the tree is great. Shows up a little bit late. I thought we were going to pull something here where we're like, 30 seconds, okay, I can do that. And then she's not going to kill him at the end because she wants him to go out of his way and like really push himself and believe that he can do it. We end up not going that round. He ends up killing it anyways because he's a lot stronger. But, you know, things end up working out. The sequence for this is so fantastically done, like so excellently done. I don't know enough about like animation and all that stuff. I don't be going into all that, right? But when I tell you, when you view something, you can tell if it looks good, and this looked fucking incredible the way that they were able to do that. Above and beyond, they truly went, which is great. I love the moment of us bringing in how Eisen attacked and hit Stark, and he got so angry at one point over him, right? And it ends up coming full circle, and you end up finding out at the end it's due to his fear, his own fear that he ended up having in this person, which I think is also great. I would assume we were going to go more of the route of like, he was mad because he sees right through him, right? He sees this person and he knows what he's going to be capable of because I'm capable of that, right? And we're like kind of similar with the way that we act or the way that we do things, right? And kind of relatable in that situation, which would have been pretty cool. And there's still probably a little bit in there of that, but just the way that he kind of acted out, or he realized how strong Stark really is, and it's more just this big confidence thing that Stark really lacks, which is cool. I love the line too about how being in fear like isn't actually a bad thing, and it's good for you to realize that that fear, that thing that's kind of driven you away from things or has driven you to push yourself in certain moments, or whatever that fear has ultimately done, has brought you to where you are today, has brought you as far in a positive direction or as far in a negative direction as it possibly could have. It's brought you to these people, and actually it's who you are, right? In every situation, in all these crucial moments when that fear kind of kicks in, it leads you to that exact moment that happens, and for you to be standing there and to be happy with who you are and content in that moment, it would force you kind of to realize that the fear actually isn't that bad of a thing, and it's just something that's going to kind of dictate and lead your life a little bit. But it's a really cool saying. I love this too, of us relating and just one person not being able to see the positives and kind of taking things a bit slower and taking in everything, right? And the other person actually being able to see it there, not seeing eye to eye in that, but also being able to kind of convince him in that moment. It really showcased how influential Himmel ended up being in these moments, which is really, really cool too. We leave the village. We end up testing out the see-through ability here. And seeing Fern is fucking rude. I cannot believe she said that to my man. Sorry, man, ain't hung like a horse. I don't know what you want from him. You know what I mean? Like, you know, maybe he grows, you know. I'm just saying, you gotta be respectful. That's all I'm saying. You don't see him, you know, body shaming or coming at her because her face is circular. That's all I'm saying. You know, let's not go that far. They do a really good job at making this look fucking delicious, which is great. I also like the The idea that he's like, oh, it's so small because I got bigger, but it's like I don't know if that's actually the case or if it's literally just because they like downsized. That's not a great sequence of Fern being all caked up sitting down, which leads into a fun conversation or a fun dynamic and moment between our two here as they kind of adventure around and they're trying to find ways out. We get trapped inside the city. I completely skipped over that, but we basically get trapped in. We're not letting anybody through this checkpoint for us to be able to get out. FRIEREN sees this as an opportunity to study and sit down and learn a lot of things, right? Do everything that she really likes to do, which isn't as useful for the others because they don't live, forever like her. So it's not the greatest thing. And they kind of want to get out of here because they each have things that they want to go out of their way and do and get to and accomplish here. And I really love the way that we go into this backstory and this telling of really, I guess, what's behind the motivation of Stark here and how he really wants to bring something so special in a way of stories and have these very memorable things, the exact things and the exact journey that impacted his mentor in a way he wants to be able to bring back and experience or share that experience with him instead. And he realizes he doesn't have a ton of time to be able to do that. He's doing something here that he doesn't even want to do, probably, right? Be involved here, but he's doing it in place of this other person. So I might as well make the most of it. I might as well have something that I can come back with for him, and I might as well share that experience and maybe give him a little bit of happiness and hope, and do something like that, because now you also have the experience that when you finally find somebody and you grow a little bit older here, you can share that same experience and inspire that younger person possibly into becoming what you ended up becoming here, which is a really cool thing. I gotta say, I like him a lot so far, like everything that we've seen. Like, sure, they had the whole coward moments and like whatever happened last time, but like every single thing we got out of him this episode was really, really, really good. We also get some really cool moments with Fern where they don't like really go into them, but it's like he says something pretty positive like this, and then for like just a split second you get to see like a nice little smile on her, which is really, really cool. We end up getting caught here. FRIEREN seemed to, this moment I'm not too sure of, she seemed to think that we were going to get in trouble for something, but at the same time maybe she knew that we weren't and she just didn't want to get caught because then they were going to have to leave and she didn't want to. It's one of the two. I think the second one's way funnier if that's the case. Her reactions here are fantastic too. I did not expect them to go that hard in giving us all of these, but they did. And then we get the hero's goodbye instead of the welcome like we got at the beginning here. And then we get kind of parallels between the exact same way that her previous squad ended up leaving and us leaving here altogether, which I think is great. Wonderful. It's so good. It's so fucking good. I love it. I'm so happy. I'm so upset that I wasn't here Friday to witness it, and I needed to put it off for days to be able to, but whatever. Very, very lovely, and I'm so thrilled to be able to continue this journey onwards and get a little bit more. Leave some comments what you thought about the episode, how you felt about literally anything I said, maybe just your own thoughts and opinions. I would love to read them. If you liked it all, though, hit the like and subscribe. Do mean a lot to me. Feel free to check out the other videos in the channel. I'll be back for episode 7 next week. You guys have a good one, though. Peace.